I think I look really pretty dead.
You look gorgeous,
Thank
dead.
you. Boo! Hello and welcome to another episode of Goddessings.
Episode 95.
Woo!
Or should we say,
boo? I'm Sadie, the ghoul.
And I'm Juliet, a burger babe.
Obviously. And we created Goddessings podcast to make the world of mindset, manifestation, and magic more relatable and fun. And if you're not watching, we're giggling because we are in costume.
Yes.
So it's October, bitches.
Now, I just want to point out that Sadie, the makeup is what makes this a costume. You would just wear this out and about.
I would wear this outfit. But I did my makeup like a dead girl.
Very ghoulish.
I think I look really pretty dead.
You look gorgeous,
Thank
dead.
you. You know, having like gray skin really makes my eyes pop.
Yes.
I use a little green and purple mixed in with
It's beautiful.
the contour, and your girl just looks good dead. So here we are.
And I look good in an in and out. Well, you can't say in and out. The costume just said burger beauty. But clearly it's my little in and out girl costume because I love in and out burger. That's what a hamburger's all about.
Is that
their little song? Yeah.
Never heard it before.
They don't play it often, but they do have a jingle.
Is it like their radio ad or something? Okay.
It's been around for a very long time.
I never listened to the radio anymore.
Oh, and you didn't grow
I'm
up
not
on this
from
coast.
Here. Yeah, so we didn't have in and out.
Anywho, we have a month of fun, spooky Halloween enjoyment for you with
Yes.
a different costume every week.
Every week, 5 costumes. 'Cause there's five Mondays in October.
Can you believe it? I had to buy 4 other costumes.
And mine are mostly going to be me dead in different outfits.
I love it. I love it.
Today we just went Halloween spirit. I've got my pumpkin sweater on and dead, but then there's going to get progressively different costumes, but probably me dead most of the time.
And I'm just going to find different ways to look adorable. That's my vibe.
It's on brand for each of us. I love it. I love it. So before we dive in today, we have some fun little multiple topics today, but what's new with you, Juliet?
Oh my gosh. Well, we had the most fun time.
We did.
That's the most exciting new thing with me.
I wrote, we had so much fun on my new with me.
So Sadie and I, last week we did 2 really fun things. The first is that we went to the Andaz Hotel right on Sunset Boulevard in West Hollywood, where like all of those billboards and all the fun is. And we went up to the pool, the rooftop pool deck, and we worked.
Yeah.
It was magical. We had lunch. We had pina coladas.
Food was so good. The pina coladas were so good. I took a dip, then did some more work. I mean, it was just the most magical, vibey day.
Oh my gosh. I was like, oh, this is the whole reason we chose this
we're
path.
Like, this is
we're doing this once or twice a month. Hello.
Yes, it was so nice.
So that was really fun. And it just felt so right. It just felt so right. And I felt so grateful because I had always seen people with that ability to just work from anywhere, work from beautiful places. And you know, full transparency, I'm working from my apartment most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, I have a desk, but I like to sit on the couch most of the time and work. Once in a while, I'll go to the coffee shop near me. But yeah, like...
I'm like, yeah, but my refrigerator's here, my bathroom's here. I got out of my comfort zone and I loved it. We had so much fun.
It was so fun.
And then a couple days later, we went to the historic, iconic Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills, and we walked around. We went into so many designer, like luxury stores, and I didn't realize how fun and magical Gucci was.
Oh, it's my favorite brand. I don't own any Gucci, but it's like that's when I'm at that level of just like don't have to think about if I want like a $1,000 pair of shoes or something, Gucci is who will be getting my money. I fucking love Gucci.
They had one necklace there in particular that I was like, ooh.
It's like whimsical and a little crazy. They have their like sort of classics, but like they do a lot of like really colorful, really funky stuff. Like that's what I'm all about. Yeah.
I was kind of blown away, and it was so busy, which was cool to see, like people just living that lifestyle. And then we went into other stores as well, but the other one that stood out to me, which was one that you really loved, was Philip Plein, that had this huge, like...
There was two.
Oh, yes, there were two.
There was two.
What are they, like 5 foot tall?
Yeah.
By 4 foot wide.
Huge.
Bejeweled skeleton heads. Every pair of shoes, every item in the store could not have been more glittered, sparkled out.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And we made a friend there, somebody who worked there. We made a friend. And I just was, and then this was the best part. So we're like soaking in the luxury vibes. We walk past Tiffany and the little cobblestone floors. We sit by this fountain. I felt like I was in Italy. It was really fun. I felt really abundant, really exciting. And then we were hungry, and I looked on our phone. We don't share a phone. I looked on my phone. Looked on our phone. And I was like, oh, there's a Cheesecake Factory a block away.
I was like, oh.
So we had a really abundant, yummy dinner at the Cheesecake Factory.
We cheers champagne.
I know.
We shared a slice of cheesecake.
Very romantic.
Very romantic.
Very exciting. So, no, I had the best time. And it was so cute because you said something like, let's not talk about work. I felt like we were a married couple. You're like, let's just not talk about work. Which is hard for me.
We did a little bit.
And it's just a pinch.
It's fun, but it's funny because like Juliet and I see each other, we record on Wednesday. So we see each other every Wednesday. And then if we have an event, we see each other. But like, we don't really just go hang out and like it not be like for work.
I know. That changes today.
So yeah, it was sort of this aha moment where it was like, we gotta just do more stuff like this, like meet on Rodeo and go shop and go to dinner, and we can talk about work, but like it not be like for work. Even the pool, like that was the intention, to like meet there and work, which was fabulous.
Oh my God, I had so much fun.
But yeah, it was just nice to like hang out as friends instead of like, we were still talking a little business, but it was nice.
My favorite thing about the pool rooftop day was obviously I had 3 sips of my drink and was just on another level. And I kept looking at you saying, I'm so happy.
I know.
I'm so happy.
It was... Yeah, the vibes were immaculate on that rooftop.
Yeah. But the Rodeo Drive Day was fun because we always talk about this in terms of like manifesting and activities you can do and like getting in the energy. We didn't buy anything at any of these designer stores, but we walked through and we enjoyed and we window shopped and we had a great time. And then we, like, the bag that we left with at the end of the day was like
my Cheesecake Factory bag.
to-go bag. And I just thought, what a perfect day.
Yeah.
What a perfect day. And it was also this beautiful energy of driving through the homes, the streets of Beverly Hills, going through these stores and just thinking, this will absolutely be normal for me one day. Like, I'm not feeling resentment towards it or limitation towards it. And I didn't spend a dime, but just to get in the energy and to feel it was a really amazing practice. And it helped me sort of normalize it a little bit.
When I first went there, like not that long ago, and I talked about it on the pod, but like with Craig's family, I felt like I wasn't allowed to touch anything. I kind of felt nervous. And this time it was already a big difference where it's like, I felt a little bit more like, okay, I can be here. I'm allowed to be here. I felt a little bit more like this could be me in my element. So that's why it is important. Like, if you want a certain level of wealth and abundance in your life, like, you so deserve that. But if it's something that like you don't feel comfortable in, it's hard to manifest. So it is like a really powerful thing to like go put yourself in a designer store or walking through the dream neighborhood as though you live there, and do these things where like it might feel a little funky at first. You might feel like an outsider, but like that's important to like kind of bump up against that and go like, no, I can feel like I belong here. I can feel like I'm allowed to be here. And this time when we went, we did talk to salespeople, and I did pick up a few things. And I really try to just hold myself like, they think I can buy things here. Like the first time I felt like
was so nice,
very attentive to us.
Do you need anything? Do you girls need anything?
Yeah. So I was like,
we were not ignored in a single store.
No.
It was really nice.
So yeah, I felt we're getting there. It felt more normalized.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fun.
I had a great time. What else? I didn't write anything down. I just have been
we were busy
having fun, celebrating. Oh, I did a really amazing card reading for myself, which I'm doing. I do readings for so many other people. We do readings for so many other people. And it's kind of a rare moment when I sit down and do it for myself. And I actually recorded this 5-minute voice message that I was going to send to you. And I was like, she doesn't need to hear this. I'll tell you now. So I was shuffling the cards, and I think maybe if you're listening, like this will resonate with you. We're all like aspirational. We have ambitions. We have things we want to achieve. And I was feeling a little frustrated, like, oh, but I want to be at this level. I want to figure. And I've been saying the sentence, I just want to figure it out. I don't know why I can't figure it out. Which if you're watching us, you're like, what are you talking about? Like, you girls have figured something out. But anyways, this voice came into my head clear as day and was like, stop saying that. You have figured it out. And as that happened, this card flew out that literally the message on the card says, you're already doing it. Stop overthinking. The next card said play and celebrate, and it was like a little goddess in a martini glass.
I love that.
And then the third card said just trust your path. Like there's no need to doubt anything. There's no need to rush anything. Like just move as if you know you're going to succeed. And we talk about this, and yet we're both still human and run into things, right?
Yeah.
So that was very illuminating. And then the other message I got separate from this card reading was that I need to let myself get carried away in like a fantasy. Because every spare moment of the day, I'm listening to business podcasts, I'm watching trainings, like I'm obsessed. And this nudge was like, no, you need to like either read an erotic book or just do something. And so I started watching Bridgerton.
Oh, fun.
Wow. Have you watched it? Oh my God. Wow. Highly recommend.
Okay.
It's like if you like period pieces, but the music they play, it's like all classical, but it's modern music. So they'll be playing like Billie Eilish on violin. I know I'm so late and this show came out like a year ago, but there's like romance and tension and sexy stuff happening and gossip and and I watched like 2.5 episodes last night. I got so carried away. It was so fun. And I just feel revived today. So that's what's new with me. What's new with you?
That's important too. Sometimes I feel like I'm like, read a regular book. That's why I have my Stephen King books for. That's my break from. But it's like, I enjoy it and I'm obsessed with it. But sometimes you do need to just like stop learning and trying to like grow and be better. It's great to want that for yourself, but sometimes you just gotta like just let it go and just have some fun.
Play, celebrate, watch something a little steamy. Those were my directions this week.
Let's see. Well, we had so much fun on the WeHo rooftop pool in Rodeo Drive. That was one of my things. I also went to a really fun art fair on Sunday with Craig, one of our friends. It's like one of his best friends, girlfriends that we've known for a long time now. She had a booth there, and it was so cool to see her. And then there was a couple comedians too that were like also painters and had art there, so we knew like a couple people.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I had been craving for a while to like go to like the art museum or do something like this, so it was really, really fun. And then we went out on a little date afterwards to a Mexican restaurant that he used to go to when he was a kid. And it was just like such a lovely, like, we had Thursday at the pool, and then we had Saturday rodeo, and then Sunday I had this day with Craig. And it was just like, I'm not typically leaving the house that much. Like, so it was like a lot, and it was busy, and I was like kind of like tired after it all, but it was like so fun. Like I used to have a packed social calendar, not so much anymore, which I like I prefer that, I think, but it's fun to have weekends now and then, or weeks now and then, where you're like moving a lot and doing lots of stuff and putting on cute outfits for different things. You know, I love getting dressed up and all that. So it was so fun. And then I also just wanted to say that I have just been feeling very psychic lately.
You know what? I meant to tell you that because we did our live readings yesterday, and I thought, dang, Sadie is like spot on over and over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah, so I felt super disconnected for a long time, so I stopped doing readings because I just didn't feel good. I felt disconnected, and I have some theories about that, but over the summer, I told Juliet this, like I kept getting these nudges where it was like, it's time to start doing readings again. This is really important. Like this, you need to start doing readings again. And I still don't know why for sure, but I was trying to listen, but I just still wasn't feeling confident. I was like, I was really psychic, you know, I've done it. And you know, a strong medium, like I've done tons of readings, totally connected, spot on, but I just lost that confidence. I felt disconnected. I felt like I wasn't doing it anymore. So I just really I really got my act together with my meditation practice and really focused on my strongest clair is clairvoyance, seeing with my mind's eye, and also clairaudience is very strong too. So I was like, okay, like one, I wasn't meditating every day anymore. Like I was like a couple times a week, but like not really taking it seriously, and just sort of like kind of half-assing it. And so I really like got serious about that. And so every morning it's the first thing I do. I don't think about anything else. I set my 13-minute timer, and I really focus on visualization and hearing, like in my mind. So I go to this place, this room I have in my mind's eye, and there's a fireplace there, and I feel the heat, and I hear the crackling fireplace, and then there's this bookshelf, and I take a book off the shelf, and I open it, and I go to where I need to go that day.
Oh, I love
and
that.
I see what happens. So I sink into this place, and so yeah, I just started opening up again, and I feel so connected and so confident, and I would say in every meditation every single day, like, I'm ready to feel confident, I'm ready to be open, I'm ready to connect, I'm ready to see for others. And yeah, I mean, it took about a month, and then I'm back, baby.
She's back, baby.
Psychic as fuck again, and it feels really fun and really good. And then I've been doing readings again, and a while ago, like last year, they started to feel very draining, and I didn't like doing them. My confidence was waning. But now when I do one, like I feel really excited when I see that order, and I have so much fun doing it. And I'm like, it feels really good to be back. I'm having a ball. Like it's like so fun again. So that's something that's new.
That's exciting.
And then it was very fun on the live. Like I was getting so much stuff spot on, and I was like, oh my God, this is so fun and cool. And related to that, okay, so I'm not gonna say, I'll tell you later, but I'm not gonna say who, but Craig is going to have a guest on his podcast who is an iconic witch from our childhood, from a show.
Oh my gosh.
And so they will be coming here, and Craig told this person that he was like, oh, my girlfriend's a witch, like she'll give you a reading. I'm going to take a picture with this person. And I got really like nervous at first, and I was like, that's a lot of pressure. And then I was like, Sadie, she's not actually a witch. She played a witch on TV. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Because just in case if something doesn't work out, I don't want to say it and whatever. I'll obviously tell everyone once it happens, but I'm very excited for that too.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm excited that I'm back.
I'm like,
and confident.
Like 3 I can think of, but okay.
In my abilities, because I have a chance to read for an iconic witch.
Ooh.
So that's going to be exciting. I don't know when that's
One
going to happen.
iconic witch meets another.
There it is. Yeah. So that's what's new with me. Feeling psychic again, feeling good, having fun.
I love it. Today, when this airs, will be day 1 of Activate Your Magic.
Oh my gosh, yes. Congratulations to everyone who has enrolled. We're so excited to be on this journey with you.
We're so excited.
Thank you for trusting us. It's going to be so fun.
It's going to be so much fun. And also this month, we are announcing a really exclusive, one-of-a-kind, amazing way to spend the whole weekend with us. So does that make your ears perk up? Perking up like a little werewolf.
What was that? What was that?
So we have taken our Patreon exclusive retreat and we're opening it up to all of our listeners for the month of October. There is a limited amount of time to book a spot. You have until Halloween night.
Yes.
So you have the whole month. And I'm sure you're going to see details on our page. We're going to drop a link in the show notes. But in January 6th through the 9th, we are spending 3 magical nights together at a villa, a true villa in San Diego. We're going to do a fun dress-up night. We're going to do champagne toast. We're going to do spells and rituals. We're going to have movement workshops. It's going to be the most amazing witchy weekend. And if you have seen videos of our past retreat from June in Wisconsin, everybody literally says it was the best weekend of their life. Some of these people have been married and had children, and it was the best
still
weekend.
the best weekend.
And it was the best weekend of our lives too.
Truly.
So I just want to let you know, maybe we'll get more in detail next week. We can like throw up some pictures and do a whole thing. But if you're interested, please DM us. Let's get you on this trip. It's going to be so magical, so fun. This place has a swim-up bar, a water slide, fire goblets. It looks like the set of Love Island.
Yeah, that's why we chose it. That's why I wanted it.
It has a tennis court in this whole grassy area, and the home is so big. You can get a bunk bed in a shared room all the way up to your own private suite. We have those options available. And come on a goddess retreat with us. Come on a witchy weekend. It's going to be amazing. And the theme is bringing in an abundant new year.
Yes. What better place than a luxurious villa? It's going to be such a vibe. I'm so excited.
It's going to be so much fun. So if you're like, oh my God, but what if I'm not in the pit? What if I've never talked to you ever? It doesn't matter. Message us. Let's get you in. Let's do it. Let's do it. Take the leap. Let's all go on a trip together. It'll be so much fun. It'll be so much fun.
And that's in San Diego.
In January. Yay!
So excited. Okay, so what we wanted to chat about today was we were going to share a couple just like fun Halloween stories that we have, and then we're going to talk about how we like to do our readings, because we know that we have lots of new listeners. We have lots of people that are new to witchcraft, new to their oracle or tarot cards. So we thought, and we like to do things a little bit differently. So part of that is just listening to your intuition and what feels good to you. We thought it would be fun to just go step by step how we like to get in the energy and set ourselves up for a successful reading.
I love that. And I think we get asked that sometimes, like, why do you shuffle that way? Or how do you pick the cards? And we'll get into all of that.
Yeah. So what are some of your fun Halloween stories?
So, okay, I wrote them all down and then I left the paper at home. But I wanted to ask you, do you know what the first costume you were ever put in was? So we were born summer 1991, October 91. What were you dressed as?
I don't know, but my favorite picture of my mom and dad and me is when I'm a little tiny baby, and they're both dressed as vampires. And like I have little lipstick marks on both my cheeks from them kissing me. And I'm not in costume, but I think that it must have been my first Halloween.
Like a vampire kind of thing.
Yeah, so I wasn't dressed in anything, but it's really funny because my mom has like beautiful like regular makeup on, just like darker than usual, and then my dad's in full like white face paint and like black, like sunken in cheeks and stuff, and so like they didn't go the same route with their vampire makeup. But they're vampires. And
I've seen that picture.
yeah, it's my favorite
that
picture.
So that checks out because my first costume was a little baby bunny.
Oh,
I was a little bunny.
That's so cute.
So I wanted to ask that. I was writing down some of my most memorable. What I couldn't believe was how much I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
I was like, I've had 30 Halloweens and I can remember like maybe 6 of them. I remember being 4 years old and the costume that I begged for. And I combed through Google last night. I could not find a picture of it because I wanted to say, take a look here. Maybe you'll remember this, or I can try to dig through photos and find it at my house. But I wanted to wear this Polly Pocket costume. And you think, oh, a Polly Pocket, like probably a cute little skirt and like a little scrunchie. No. This was a plastic smock that they had just printed like the shape of a dress on and the most terrifying looking mask you've ever seen in your life. Terrifying.
Oh my God.
And I loved it. I wore that so proudly in the parade.
Oh, you got it. You got
yeah.
it. Dude,
Oh, yeah.
Polly Pockets were the shit. I loved Polly Pockets.
Oh my God. They were so little. I don't know how many babies have choked on a Polly
I
Pocket.
was gonna say, I loved chewing. I would always chew on the little outfits.
Yeah. I would hide under the table and I would eat not a lot of Play-Doh, but a little bit because it was salty.
Yeah,
it tasted
I nibbled
good.
on it too. I liked the
good.
smell.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, I wonder.
Oh my God, maybe one day we'll make our own Play-Doh. I used to do it when I would nanny.
And then we'll go under the table and nibble on it.
You can. It's like flour and
Vlog coming
Kool-Aid.
soon.
somehow that one gets more views than anything else.
Oh, we have to do it like hidden, like we don't realize we're being watched eating it. We're like,
Oh no.
oh no.
That would be spooky. So, okay, Polly Pocket came to mind. One year I was a black cat. I made my mom take me to Petco so I could buy a collar.
Oh, a real cat collar.
Yeah, I guess it was for a dog. But and then my
Hilarious.
American.
You were like, I want an authentic animal collar.
I did. It was purple. And then my American Girl doll Kirsten had the matching outfit, and we did a photo shoot.
Do we have these photos?
I'm gonna have to look.
Yeah, I did. I already texted my dad because I thought it would be fun for Instagram to do cute pictures of us from Halloween past. Hopefully he does it.
So I remember that one year I was Dorothy, and I put a little stuffed animal dog in a basket.
That's cute.
And then the rest of my childhood, no recollection of costumes.
Yeah.
Not a single one. I can't remember. I have this one memory of my parents hosting a Halloween party and doing the bobbing for apples, and I couldn't get the apple.
I've never bobbed for apples.
It's not fun. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, well, you know, I always thought about this. It's like, if you're an adult woman or a person that wears makeup going to a party and you bob for apples, like, you're fucking up.
No,
all
you
that
have
hard
to.
work.
I remember you dunk your whole head in and then and you just could, and then of course my uncle got it.
Yeah, so you're like messing up your whole look, you know? If you're a kid and you're not wearing any makeup or whatever, but
I remember that. And then my memories jump all the way to my early 20s. And I had this one memory in particular where I so I was probably 24 or 25, and my really, really close friend at the time was 5 years younger than me. So she was 19 or 20, and we couldn't obviously get into like a bar. So we went to there's a club, I think it's right on Hollywood and Highland. I don't know if it's still there, but it was called Club Deviate.
oh,
And Kiss FM, the radio station, would be there. It was a whole thing, and they'd let you in if you were over 18. So obviously the majority of people there were 18 to 20.
yeah.
So we went because I was like, come on, clubbing is so fun. Let's go. Because I do like it once in a blue moon. And so she's like, I don't know. It's really not my vibe. I'm like, no, we're going to have the best time. So we get in, and it's becoming and I was very single at this time, and it's becoming increasingly obvious to me that everybody here is 18 years old.
Yeah.
Half the crowd had braces. Like, I kid you not.
Well, you know, like the 20-year-olds are probably at a house party drinking.
And the 21-year-olds are somewhere
at
else.
a bar. Yeah.
But I wanted to go out. I wanted to bring her. So it's all these young kids. But I'm like, whatever. I'm having fun. At one point, this group of guys with braces is like, come take a photo with us. So somewhere, somebody has photo booth pictures of me and my friend in a photo booth with them. And then we said, goodbye. And we left. And then at one point, this was still I would say the time when, and maybe it hasn't ended, where a man could just go up to a woman and just start aggressively grinding on her.
Yeah.
Right?
Do people still do that?
Do people still do that?
Who here goes out, and is that still a thing?
Last Halloween, somebody sort of approached me slowly.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh. And then Victor's like, no, because he was about to make out with me. And Victor pulled me away. I was like, no, he wasn't.
Me and my friend's favorite joke when we go out, I mean my friends, I mean me and Haley mostly. But we pretend, you know, like we pretend like we're grinding on somebody, and then we go like this. Is she hot? Is she hot? Because we saw a guy do that once at a bar where, like, because these guys, they don't know what you look like from the front. They're like, someone without a man behind them. Let me go fill that space. And so that's our joke where we're like pretending, and we go, is she hot? Is she hot?
So I had
these guys out here wilded.
So I was with my friend trying to prove to her that this was a fun thing to do. And it's just like everything that could have gone weird went weird. And at one point we're dancing, and all of a sudden somebody grabs me, and I look behind me. And again, no shade towards short men. I've dated short kings. I love short men. But this was a very short man in a full-on Scream costume, just going at it behind me. And my friend looked so horrified, and I was like, oh, it's okay. But I was like,
oh, it's okay.
I'm like, no, this is what people do, it's fine. But he had like he had a boner going on. It was like, I who are you? And then I was like, okay, go away now.
Ew.
And then finally I said, let's just make our way onto the stage, because then at least nobody can touch us. So then me, her, and like 5 other women were just dancing on the stage. And I felt very safe up there. So I thought that was funny. And then last year I had a great time. Yumi, Irene, Victor, and a couple other friends went out, and the funny thing about last year was the way they described this event.
Yeah.
Was like, join us on the rooftop. Ghoulish decorations abounded. Like it was such brilliant marketing. We get there, they're like, oh no, it's going to be inside.
Yeah.
And they put up like an inflatable goblin and like 3 spider webs. It was so bad, but we had fun.
But it was still fun.
And I'll see if anything else comes to me, but I'm dying. I'm sure you have way better stories. Way better.
I was trying to remember too. I mean, some of them, a lot of them I just like partied a lot, I guess. I wrote down some of my notable costumes.
Ooh, okay, let's hear them.
Well, I think I've already talked about this before, but like when I was little, I was very calculated. Like every other Halloween, I was a witch.
Yes.
And then in between ones, I would experiment with different things. Typically still creepy things. Mm-hmm. Me and my brother took turns with this mask that had this little pump, and it would make blood gush down it.
Ooh.
That one was fun. But I was remembering my little witch costume. I had this crazy wig that was like this ratty long black hair, and it had like a white streak in it, and I loved that wig, and I would get it out every year and put it on. And then I had this like shredded black dress, and then I would ask my mom to like put the warts on me and stuff. So I liked being a scary witch when I was little, which is funny because I was obsessed with Harry Potter, and never once did I care about dressing up as like Hermione or something. I was like, no,
that was your everyday look.
I was like, I want to dress as a scary witch, my alter ego. But so this is funny too. Like I've always been so into Halloween, so passionate about it, love it so much. But even to this day, like I'm like so not into the like being scared part.
Same.
Like I'm such a scaredy cat. I don't like haunted houses.
Nope.
Like I love a corn maze if it's not one that's gonna scare you, right?
Agreed.
Like it's just a fun time. Like haunted hayrides, nothing. I don't want to go somewhere where people are gonna scare me and jump out at me. I don't like being startled. And like when I was little, there was this one house in our neighborhood that had the best stuff. They would give you, and it was like I can remember, like, you'd go around and then there was like one street that had like bigger houses, you know, so it was like people would get bigger stuff. So this one house always had fully decked out, a long driveway. So it was like going through a haunted house to walk down this driveway. Really loud, scary music, stuff that moved, you know, it was really scary. And but I knew at the end of this driveway there was not only a full-size candy bar, but also a little toy. You would get both from this house. It was pretty sick.
Oh my goodness.
But every year I would argue with my mom. I'd be like, I'm too scared to go down there. Could you just go down there and say that I'm here and that I was too scared? And then she'd argue with me and she'd be like, Sadie, you're going to be more scared if you stand at the end of this driveway by yourself. And then I'd be like, damn it, you're right.
Yeah.
So every year I would just be like huddled at my mom and my little brother's just walking ahead of me, doesn't give a fuck, just like do because it's totally fine. There's not like things like coming into the driveway, but I just was like so scared of this house, but like knew that there was such a prize at the end of it. And then one time, this is funny, one time, so my birthday is August 29th, but I wanted to have a Halloween birthday, but not just like a Halloween birthday themed party. Like I wanted to have it at like this place that would do like a whole like Halloween setup, like the corn maze and the haunted hayride and a haunted house. I wanted to have my birthday party there, but of course it wasn't till October. So I delayed my party for 2 months.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, no, Mom, this is what I want. And she was like, everyone's gonna, you know, I'm like a kid and she's got to give invitations out. I think I was in like second grade or something. She's like, everyone's gonna think this doesn't make sense and it's so weird, but she's like, whatever, it's your birthday. Okay. So I have all my friends come to this haunted farm, you know, it was like at some farm, and I'm so excited. And so there's a haunted house, like it's a barn, but there's like a haunted house you go through, and then there's also a haunted hayride, right? These are the two big events of the night, and I'm very excited for it. Never been to one before. Go through the haunted house once. I mean, this might have been where anxiety started for me. Hated it.
Yeah.
Did not like it.
No.
Biggest regret of my life. I was, I don't know why I didn't know better. I just thought, I was like, I remember this thought in my head, like, Sadie, you're in second grade now. You can handle this. Nope. And everyone else loved it, and they like went in multiple times. I wouldn't go on the hayride because I heard something chases the tractor, like runs out of the woods and chases the tractor.
Oh.
So I was like, no. So literally, like everyone at the party kept going to these two things because you could just keep going, and I just sat in my little party room by myself a lot of the time. And I was still thrilled with my choice, but it was all decorated for Halloween and stuff. But it was so funny. I was just like, and that's the only time I've ever gone in a haunted house. Never.
I don't think I've ever even gone in. Because I know.
I know. I'm like, it's not
because
enjoyable
I know I'm
for
going to
me.
hate it.
I hate it. Everyone, you know, loving Halloween. Big part of my personality, I will say. And everyone's like, oh, so you like love haunted houses. I'm like, oh, no. But in one.
No,
never.
why would you think that?
When I was in college, my boyfriend at the time was like, oh, like, let's go to this haunted house. And I was like, oh, no way. And he got so offended and mad at me. This should have been the sign that this was a toxic.
This is not a good boyfriend.
But he was like, we do all the things you want to do and you can't go to a haunted house. And I was like, this is a hard boundary for me. I'm not going to the goddamn haunted house.
Do you want me to have a panic attack? This isn't like, I'm not going to sit with you while you eat ice cream.
So, that was funny. But I think like looking back, because I was such a scared kid, like all of the time, I was scared of the dark. I was scared of being by myself at home. I think this was connected to like being psychic and like just like feeling energies and being in tune with things, and not that there was like negative or evil stuff, just being freaked out because I always felt like there was stuff, and I just was like, oh, I'm just a scaredy cat, you know. But I'm like, I think that's the connection there, looking back on being a kid, and like I was just always scared unless I was like in a room with my parents.
I was like,
or
that
like
too.
with people. Yeah. Didn't like being home alone or anything. So yeah, I feel like that's connected. Okay, so some of my favorite costumes. I don't really remember other costumes from when I was a kid. I just loved being a witch mostly. I did have one that was like a Nala costume.
Aww.
And it had this big cutout thing that looked like her face that you put around your face.
I can picture it.
And it had and I liked the little tail. And I was sad when I grew out of that. But my favorite, so as an adult, some of my favorite costumes, me and aforementioned ex, one of my best costumes, we were Hansel and Derek Zoolander. Obviously I was Hansel with my hair.
Okay.
And I did such a good job. I did makeup on my nose to look like Owen Wilson's funny nose, and I did his makeup for Derek Zoolander, and I thrifted like the perfect outfit. Like we went out in Chicago and everyone stopped us and it was just like, holy shit, this is the best thing ever. And I was like, it was just like my natural hair wave, and like that was one of my favorite costumes, was Hansel Zoolander. I also was Thor one year. That was really fun. I got a little boy's costume and it fit me. I got like a boy's extra large. It had a teeny tiny cape that was really small and a Thor's hammer.
Cute.
I was Cruella and my friends were like Dalmatians one year because my hair just like regularly was like half black and half blonde. That's just the style my hair was for a couple years. So I was Cruella. That was one of my favorites. And then now my go-to is a zombie. I love being a zombie. That's my new witch. Like I was always a witch when I was little. Or like a vampire ghost type thing. I just, like I mentioned at the beginning, I love doing that. And then this is one of my crazier stories, which I don't know if I told this story already too. But I had a zombie bar crawl one year. Did I tell this story?
I think so.
I completely fucked up my leg.
Your leg?
My leg.
Oh no, I don't know if I know this one.
Okay, so this is when I like moved back home for a year after everything with my mom. And so there's a zombie bar crawl, which is so fun, like when everyone's like a zombie and you're in a group. And I don't know if anyone out there does bar crawls, but there's just something about being in that group energy, like, and especially when you're dressed up, like things go crazy. I did SantaCon last year. So fun. I love it. I love a good bar crawl. And so I'm out with like a group of friends, you know, and we're hopping a couple different places. And I like lose the friend I'm close with, like closest with and got ready with and everything for a while. But like, it's fine because I'm in my hometown. Like I know everybody. And then I'm like very drunk at this point and I see her from like across. Elixirs is the club, and I see her and she's up on a little box thing, like a little stage thing, and so I'm like, Jenna, and I start running and I'm gonna hop up on this box, which is probably about as high as this chair. And I get one foot on it, but I don't get it. It just slips right off, and all my weight comes down on one shin.
Ow.
And my first reaction was like, this hurts so bad I'm gonna throw up. And I was just like, oh, but I was really drunk, so like within a few seconds I'm like, I'm fine, and I just like keep going, whatever. And then we're outside and a little bit later smoking a cigarette, and we're in a group of people and someone goes, Sadie, oh my god, are you okay? Because I like a softball goose egg on my shin.
Ow.
And I'm just like, oh shit.
Ow.
I didn't feel it. I mean, it was also like cold too. Like it was cold outside.
Perfect conditions.
And I'm like, it doesn't even hurt. I'm like, watch. And I'm like hopping on one leg, and this one guy's like, I'm a paramedic. Please don't do that. He's like, do not hop on one leg. He's like, you should sit down and elevate your leg. And I'm like, no, I'm fine. So I just go the rest of the night because I'm wearing like tights like these too, so you can like really see it. Because I was wearing like shorts and tights as like my bottom outfit. The tights were all ripped up. So I finish my night partying, whatever, go to bed, wake up in the morning, and I didn't remember that this happened, right? And I step out of bed and I just immediately collapse. Oh no. And I had a limp for a while. All of that goose egg swelling went down into my ankle. So it looked like my ankle was fucked up, but it was my shin that hurt. And then I was this is something always would happen before I'd go visit my friends in Atlanta. This is when my two childhood besties lived in Atlanta, and like the following week I was supposed to, I did go fly to visit them for Halloween weekend, because I think the zombie bar crawl was the weekend before, and my leg's still like swollen and painful, so I like go to the doctor and I'm like, can you just double check that my shin's okay, like it's not cracked or something, because I'm like hobbling around. So she's like, it's fine, just wrap it with an ace bandage for the swelling when you fly, whatever. And then I get to the airport and I'm limping around, and like they're like, do you need a wheelchair, do you need someone to escort you? And just so embarrassed. Oh, and the doctor was like, oh, what happened? And I was like, oh, I was at the gym doing a box jump. And she's like, oh, I've seen this before.
You're like, well, it technically was a jump onto
it was a
box.
box jump, but not where you think, not where I said it was. But then that whole weekend, like, we were like going out and stuff, so I would ace bandage my foot, and like, this is the second time this happened to me with this group of friends, but like every night I'd come home and like undo my bandage, and my foot just was like huge and like disgusting. It looked like a monster foot, and it was just,
oh no,
it was quite the saga. And that wasn't the first time that happened.
It was a shin smash. They did the mash.
I've never like broken anything, but I have had a number of drunk related injuries. I was quite the party girl back in the day. That. So yeah, that's probably my funniest Halloween story.
I love
the goose egg.
I just was okay. So speaking of geese eggs,
yeah,
I actually, as you were telling the story, I had this memory, and this is not related to Halloween, but do you remember that movie Fly Away Home? It probably came out when we were 4. Mm-mm. Anyways, I went to see this movie. It's about this little girl who, incubates all these eggs and then teaches the geese how to fly, and it's a whole thing. Anyways, I remember coming home from that movie and seeing eggs in our refrigerator, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like, there's a baby bird in there. And so I remember taking an egg and like wrapping it in a blanket and putting it by my nightlight, and my mom was trying, I remember vividly her being like, honey, it's not gonna hatch, it's not that kind of egg. And I was like, it's an egg. And she goes, okay. She just let me do it. And I think after a few days, she's like, honey, it's going to start smelling. Like, we need to throw it out.
An egg is an egg, Mom.
I was like, let me just try. And I remember her being like, whatever, fine. I remembered that. I was remembering that every year for, I don't know, 30 years, 40 years, my grandma Beavy wore the same pumpkin costume.
That's so cute.
With the little green vines on her head. Oh. Until she could not even move, and they were wheeling her around. They put this pumpkin costume on her.
That's so precious.
They should have buried her in it, but
bury me in a Halloween costume when they want to do my open face casket, and they're like, you're gonna try to make me look alive, with the makeup. Say no. She'd want to look dead.
Yeah, just throw some purple lipstick on.
Just kidding. I'm getting cremated, but
yeah, big same. So yeah, BV was always a pumpkin. That was tradition. And then I think I've mentioned this every year since I was, 7. My dad has worn the same wizard costume.
Oh my God, I love that.
Every year he's a wizard passing out candy.
I feel like he's got wizard energy. Haven't met him yet, but I get wizard energy.
Definite wizard. So I was remembering that. And then I was remembering, so does anybody get those TikToks that it's like nostalgic, like Halloween parties, Christmas parties from when you were in school? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. And I was remembering.
No, I haven't seen a TikTok like this. I'm just saying I understand what you mean.
Oh my God, I have to show you. It like fills my body with warmth. Oh. And I was remembering we would do this thing where we would take toilet paper and we would like wrap up like kids or the teachers as mummies. Oh, and yeah. You'd eat like the soft orange sugar cookies, and there'd be a Halloween movie. Everybody had their costume, and you'd pass out candy to everybody.
Party days in school were so fun.
And then I got to work at different schools during Halloween, and that was so fun. The parades and the parties, and I just loved it. Oh, and then I was remembering, here's an odd costume I had a couple years ago, 4 years ago, I don't know. I decided to dress up as the woman on the Herbal Essences shampoo bottle.
Oh.
That was my costume.
Does she have leaves on or something?
Yeah, she's just, I really just put together something in my closet, and I went to my mom and I was like, what does this look like to you? Like, can I just, someone's gonna
That's
ask.
what my costumes always are, is just like, I mean, I'll go like thrift or buy pieces from wherever, but I like to just sort of like figure, like, I like the creativity of like putting the puzzle together. Like, what if I put this with this and it looks like this? You know, it's part of the fun, I think.
I have to find the Christmas TikTok specifically, because the song in the background is "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas," and it shows like the classrooms in the 90s, and like,
I don't know why. Well, I kind of know why, but Christmas really makes me cry. I cry all Christmas season, like every day.
That's how I felt about my birthday for so many years, until like 5 years ago I hated it.
I don't hate Christmas. I love it, but like last year, oh my god, I had the best Christmas season because I went to New York. Remember, for the first time, if you were here listening, that was always my dream, to go to New York for Christmas time. I saw that Rockefeller tree, bawling.
Oh,
I saw the lights on right next to it on not Macy's, what's the store, Saks, the famous light show. Bawling, crying. Walked through the famous neighborhood that has all the lights, crying. We go drive here and look at all the Christmas lights, crying. There's something about Christmas, like, we all, like, I don't know, like the way, I mean, people decorate for Halloween and stuff too, and it brings me so much joy, but the way that, like, especially these neighborhoods you drive through, or the city putting up giant trees, or like, it's the sense of like, we're just like doing stuff for each other because we want to, because it's of the Christmas spirit. I don't know, the energy is just so sweet.
I get emotional
and loving, and you know, like, people really try. Stores really try. Like, everyone really tries. Oh, I started crying because my little city puts little bags over all of the parking meters and says, "Parking's on us. Merry Christmas," for the whole month of December.
Oh, stop it.
Started crying. So cute.
Oh my gosh. That one time, this is sort of related, sort of not, when the waiters, when the servers at the restaurants still had to wear a face shield and a face mask when you ate out with the pandemic and everything. This one time it just got me, and I was like, they're working so hard. And my friends were like, "Juliet, it's okay." I was like, no, but they're really working. It's such a scary time, and look at, they have the masks and but oh my god, no, Christmas does it for me too. It like it sparks something from being, I mean, if you were, you know, lucky enough to have positive holidays growing up, like, it sparks that again. Yeah. And you feel like you're back there.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. But we're not there yet. We're in Halloween town.
Halloween.
Although this Christmas, I can bring my ukulele or my guitar, and maybe every week in Christmas we'll sing a carol together. Wouldn't that be cute?
Oh my god. And we'll put the lyrics on the screen so everyone can sing along with us. Sing along with Gotta Sing.
I love that. Just came to me. We're doing more fun stuff this year. We're gonna do Sing Along with Goddess Hangs. It was just decided, and we're doing something really fun and creative this month as well. That I'm not gonna say what it is yet, because
I don't remember.
Oh,
which one? We're doing a lot of stuff.
We're gonna collaborate with somebody to make something.
Oh yeah. I was like, which one? Which thing? Which one?
Yeah.
We're doing lots of fun stuff.
We're gonna just be little pop stars the rest of the year. That's the vibe.
The rest of our lives.
That's the vibe.
I have makeup in my eye.
Do you have any other Halloween memes?
Just loving Halloween, man. I never feel more like me than around Halloween. My home feels the best during Halloween. I love my Christmas decorations too, but I just love, it's just a warm, cozy time. The season's changing. I wish it was getting cooler here. I am sweating right now. It is hot today. But I was like, I'm wearing the fucking sweater.
No, it looks great. It's amazing.
I wish there was a chill in the air. Maybe there will be in October. I don't know. And what's really exciting or fun, as from a witch perspective or a spiritual perspective, is that when we move towards Halloween, the veil is thinning, which is sort of that boundary between us and the spirit world. So you might find yourself feeling more in tune with your spirit team or your ancestors. You know, my mom's birthday is actually right after Halloween, so it's her birthday is November 4th. And if you're new around here, my mama is in spirit. She passed away in 2015. So it always, like, now for me is also very spiritual, and I love the Halloween aspect, not only for the spooky and the fun, and that, you know, I watched 31 Halloween movies, and it's such a fun activity to pick out those movies and decorate and dress spooky and get dressed up and all those things. But the spiritual aspect feels so good too, of just like, like feeling more connected. And I forgot one thing that's new with me is that I'm going to be doing a big purge the week leading up to Halloween. And at first I was like, I don't know, it's like my favorite weekend, my favorite holiday, like
the candy
be purging, because it's gonna be like a gnarly one, an intense one, but I was like, you know what, like, he's asking me if I can do it this week. I feel like this is like divinely timed. It's like I'm purging. And he even said, Dr. J, he even said, because Craig said something like, are you sure about Halloween? And I said, it's going to be a spiritual experience. And Dr. J said, that's right. You can purge for not only you, but your ancestors too. Like, you could purge like stuff for your lineage.
What are you going to eat or not eat?
So basically what happens
my lash keeps
is I have... So for this month, I'm on certain vitamins, and I haven't gotten this stuff yet. So it's going to start Friday, but I have the typical morning smoothie that I've been doing for months, and then a nighttime smoothie too, and taking certain herbs. And then the week leading up to it is very intense, where I'm supposed to eat only very specific foods. It's like basically the things that are most gentle on your body, so because you're preparing your system. And the reason you do this in the fall, you're supposed to do it when the season's changing from hot to cold, because when it gets cold, our bodies go inward. They hold on. So you want to purge right before it gets cold, and your body starts like kind of like sucking things in, because it's like, oh, it's cold, like we need to hold on to what we have. So that's like sort of why you do it then. It's very specific that it's a fall thing. But then, so the week leading up to it, I have to drink this like ghee thing that I think is like a yeast or something. I don't really know. I'll tell you more about it as I'm doing it in a few weeks. But I have to drink this specific stuff. Only eat certain things for 1 week leading up to it, and then I go into the clinic 2 days in a row for each day is a 1 hour full body massage, and they're like rubbing because you ate all this stuff and drank all this stuff to bring things into the surface. So I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna be sweating stuff out, and they're gonna be like rubbing down my whole body to move stuff like out of my lymph system and out of whatever. They do this Shirodara thing where they drip this warm oil on your third eye, and it goes down. And then after the second day of the full body massage, then I go home and I drink this thing, and he said, you will go to the bathroom 10 to 15 times.
What?
Mm-hmm. So that day he was like, you cannot work this day, you cannot do anything, but I'm also not supposed to nap. I'm like, what am I gonna do? I'm just gonna be shitting all day. But I'm excited. I think it's going to feel amazing.
Wow.
And then after that intense day, you have a few days where you need to eat in a certain way to like let your body adjust again.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? I want to do it. I'm going to try it.
All right. I'm here to support and witness.
Mm-hmm. Gonna be shitting. I can't wait to tell you all about it.
And we know you love to.
I love pooping.
Speaking of that, let's dive into
transition.
Let's dive into how do we use our oracle decks.
So I wrote a couple notes just to sort of, when you do stuff all the time and it's like so automatic and you're like, how do I do that? So I did write a few notes. So let's talk about how we like to do a reading. Do you want to sort of talk about how you like to set up and get in the energy? first?
Well, just briefly, if you're not watching, or if you are watching, I am using the Quantum Goddess holographic deck that we created, and Sadie is using the Intuitive Magic Oracle deck. Wow. Available at goddesshangs.com. So I usually like to get kind of quiet, go somewhere where I won't be disturbed, and I like to ideally light a candle, some sort of like energetic offering in a way, because if I'm calling spirit closer to me, almost to provide some energy and in return, I'll light some type of candle. And then I like to spray something. I have like this really nice rose water spray. I also have this roll-on that's really, really just relaxing. Just stuff to get me in the right
mug.
Oh, ew. Just to get me in the right headspace. And then I would begin cleansing myself and the deck. And so you can use an incense stick, you can use blue sage, you can burn cinnamon. There are some things that are just greenlit that you can burn. There are some things that are more sacred that you shouldn't burn, but what would you recommend for burning and cleansing?
I personally, I like eucalyptus incense. I have blue sage. I have black sage. I like using dragon's blood incense because my deity specifically likes that incense. But eucalyptus is a great one because it cleanses and protects. So that's a great one to have. Because of course, when you're doing a reading and you're like reaching out energetically, it's nice to feel protected too.
And so if you notice, look, we're already just instinctively moving cards around. I sort of think that as we prepare to pull a card, once we've cleansed and sort of, and I know Sadie at this point, maybe we would speak out our intentions either out loud or in our head of what we're trying to call in or do with this reading. I tend to feel like as I shuffle, I'm putting my energy into the cards, and it just happens naturally. I've never actually thought about why I do this, but my hands just want to start moving them and sort of getting them revved up a little bit. And then I might say something like, God, angels, universe, energies of the highest good, please bring forward the divine messages for myself, for the person I'm reading for. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Please, offer protection during this time. What would you say? Or think or feel or do?
Yeah. So I like to start by cleansing. I go like this with my incense, like around me, around my desk, around the deck. Then I also like to light a candle, and that's my symbolism of like I'm open, and then I extinguish it when I'm done, and that's my symbolism of like I'm closed off again. So like sort of like some people might like to like cast a circle. The candle is what that is for me, to say like this, as I light this candle, I open up my energies. I'm open to communicating with any energy that any high vibrational energy that has unconditional love for me, and or if I'm reading for someone else and I'll like say their name and has empowering messages. And also like to be clear that like I only want to receive something that is for their highest good, to know that they have control over, because like there's no use in seeing bad news ahead of time if there's not something you can do to change it, right? So I like to be specific about that. But yeah, I just sort of state that like I'm open to connecting. I call on my guides, on my deity I work with, and then I just sort of like to say like if there's any energies that would like to connect with me that have unconditional love in my highest good of mind, I welcome them to, even if it's something that I typically haven't connected with before.
I also like, in addition to lighting a candle, because that's energy in the form of like a visual kind of, I like playing some type of music, some type of like frequency, something like that. And I just usually find those on YouTube.
I think we both like to type in like third eye opener when we do readings.
I like that one. Sometimes I feel called towards a different one. Sometimes there's ones that are like heart opener, or there's one that I really like called Hug from an Angel. I like that one a lot. So, we set the mood, we prepare ourselves, we cleanse, and then let's talk about like when we're ready to begin.
Yeah, so Some people like to use like card spreads. So if you maybe have been reading cards for a little bit, you know what I mean. But if you don't know what I mean, like you might find it in a book or like online. People post spreads all the time, and basically what that means is like someone might post like, oh, here's like a Halloween card spread, and they'll show like how many cards you're gonna pull and like sort of the message from each card. So it might say like, for instance, you could do a 3-card spread that would be like past, present, future. What are the energies I need to know from the past, the present, and tune into for the future? Typically, like I just sort of pull however many cards that I feel called to. That's why my readings are the way they are, because I'm like, I don't like doing set spreads. I like to just like see what I want to pull. And same goes for me if I'm doing it for myself. So it's up to you. I would say like if you're just starting out reading cards for yourself, spreads can be really helpful because they give you a little bit of direction. So you can literally look up like tarot card spread, oracle card spread on like Pinterest or even Google, and that'll be easy to find.
Yeah, I've always I think I used to do past, present, future, but what I find the most helpful and the thing I like the most, and you'll see us doing this on our live readings every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific on Instagram, set your alarm coming out, is I feel like I shuffle until I intuitively feel like I need to stop, or if a card flies out, and if it's one card, I'll be like, is there another? And I'll just feel yes or no. 2, is there another? Feel yes or no.
Yeah, I just sort of like will like shuffle intuitively, and sometimes like I'll just feel like, oh, the card's in my hand, or I'll feel when it's time to stop shuffling and pick the top one, or sometimes I'm like, oh, it's the bottom one. After a while working with your cards, and I think part of it is just spending more time with the particular deck. Your energy gets in it, you feel really in tune with it. But you know, we're both very at the place where like we feel like when it's like, oh, that's the card, or it flies out. But if you're not there for feeling it yet, this is what I used to do, and you can choose your own sort of like quote rule, is when I first started out with my tarot deck and my first oracle deck, it was like my rule that I would shuffle 3 times, which I did the like kind of like typical, now I don't shuffle like this anymore, but the like taking the deck in half and like you'll be able to hear it like that kind of shuffle. Can't do it with this deck because I don't do it, it's not flexible. And I would do that 3 times, and then I would pick the top cards. So that was sort of, I would say to like spirit, like I'm going to shuffle this deck 3 times, and I would like the message I need to be on top. So because I didn't feel confident in just feeling when I was supposed to stop shuffling yet. So you can make your own rule. It could be 3 times, it could be 1 time, it could be 5 times. You could say, you know, I want to shuffle until a card flies out and I want that card to be mine. So you can sort of decide for yourself if you're like, what is it supposed to feel like? How do I know? How do I learn how to feel it? It really happens over time, and the more you spend with your cards and the more you shuffle them and the more you just practice tuning into your intuition, you will know. And it's hard to describe what it feels like. It's just a knowing. But if you're not there yet, then I would suggest it's nice to just say like, okay, I'm going to shuffle this 3 times. And, you know, maybe it's like, in the card on the top and the card on the bottom is the card I'm picking for my message. You can just decide ahead of time, and that'll feel good to start.
I think the biggest thing that we would love for you to take away from this little tutorial is that there is really no right or wrong way to do it. It's whatever feels right for you. And we feel that way about any type of, like, you know, witchcraft or whatever. Like, it's whatever feels right for you. And so I've done readings sometimes where like I'll spread them out all over the floor and I'll like pick a couple, or I'll like, one time, you know, a month or 2 ago, I like rolled around on the cards and was like, that's one. And so there's all sorts of ways. But yeah, and then we shuffle a little differently too.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to say, one thing I like to do is knock on my cards. You could think of it this 2 ways. For me, it's for clearing the cards in between readings, because when we're on live, you might notice I do that. It's like, okay, time for the next one, and I knock the energy out. But you could also, if you're reading for yourself, sort of feel it as like I'm knocking my energy into it. But to me, that like when we're doing a bunch in a row, I'm like, okay, next one. It sort of like signals to my body and to my cards that like, all right, new energy now.
Sometimes I'll do, especially when we do a lot back to back, like if the next person's name is Megan, I'll like trace an M on the top, I'll trace an M on the bottom, and then like hit it together. I just made that up, but I like doing that.
It's like what you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hold them sideways and I shuffle. Oops.
Like I hold mine up and down, and I do mine like this.
And I've also done, like I showed it before, how
like
this
a
is how
poker
I shuffle,
player.
like, playing cards. Yeah, I this deck isn't flexible. I can usually do the fancy bridge thing, but I like doing that for my tarot cards. Actually, the oracle I always shuffle like this, and that's just me and my feeling. Oh, look at that! I made my deck all upside down and facing different directions. That's okay. So we're shuffling. We're ready to pick a card. We pick our cards. We decided we're going to pick 3 cards, whatever. Now what? So this is what I want to say is really important, is when you first draw your cards, if this is a new deck for you, if you're new to tarot, if you're new to oracle, or it's just like a new oracle deck that you're working with, because they're all very unique, try to like not go directly to the guidebook immediately to see what the message is. Try to sit with that card and really look at it and see the symbolism and see what it means to you. I was like, to me. Our cards are really great because with the intuitive magic, so there's symbolism for you to intuitively tune into, and then there's your big word, and then we also have like a 1 or 2 sentence like affirmation or message on there. So this is really a deck created for the beginner because it's so easy to tune into. There is no guidebook. But if you're working with something that has less information on the cards and it does have a guidebook, whether it's tarot or a different oracle, I would really, really recommend just sitting with the symbolism, taking a look. What are the colors? What are is there animals? Is there a moon? Is there, water? What's the feeling, the energy of the card? When I was learning tarot, this is what I did, and I would just write notes of what I felt, and then I would look it up and see how it compared to like a couple different like websites. Like I had a book and a website that I would like look at because those were also different, and sort of just like, oh, okay, this is what I felt. This is what is similar to what these said. This is what's different, and it really helps you learn to trust your intuition and tune into your intuition and connect. But also, especially with tarot, like all tarot decks, are like the same. Like the art might be different, but they have the same, like a set of playing cards. They have the same cards in it that mean like the same things more or less. And you're not meant to memorize every single card. And I think it's actually a disservice to you, and if you're going to read for someone else, to just simply be able to like memorize the cards and like regurgitate like the same message every single time. It's actually more about learning symbolism and color and learning to trust your own interpretations, your own intuition. That's what's really powerful. So when it comes to tarot, I would definitely recommend starting out with a more traditional deck. Like the Rider-Waite or the Rider-Smith-Waite, or anything that is going to just have like really close artwork to the originals, because it is like easiest to learn what the symbolism is and all those things. If you get a more abstract deck, it's just going to be a little bit more, it could be more challenging to learn. But this is how you become a strong reader, is by like challenging yourself and sort of letting it be a game. Because the same card isn't going to mean the same thing in every reading, right? It's going to depend on what other cards are in the reading, the energy you feel with the person, the questions that they might be asking, or the questions you're asking if you're reading for yourself. So it's really like to your own benefit, and it's a lot easier to not memorize the 52 cards in a tarot deck, and learn to really like, if you're going to memorize things, memorize what symbolism is. If there's water, that's going to be creativity and intuition, things like that. So that's my little spiel about when you pick your cards.
I also want to say that, because my great grandma used to do card readings, but she would use just a deck of cards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's ways you can use a deck of cards that you already have in your house. You can create your own deck. We created our own decks. You don't necessarily need to go to the store and invest in the top of the line deck. You can start with something you have. And it's really just about getting into the practice of trusting yourself and trusting your intuition. So as you pull cards either in a spread formation or intuitively or both, however you want to do it, see what feels good for you. I want to mention a couple like ethics of when we give a reading. So before I fully stepped into this piece of myself, I was obsessed with other people who had gifts. And so I went and I received many, many readings, and a good number of them actually left me feeling very rattled, and I would obsess over them for a long time. And in fact, the things that the people said, it just either wasn't helpful to hear, didn't come true, or it just wasn't ethical, right? Yeah. So when we're giving readings, sometimes something a little heavier may come through. I would say just always wrap everything up, like from a perspective of this is a potential challenge, however, or I don't know how to phrase this.
Well, it's like if, for instance, like some people can be scared of tarot cards because there's like, I'm going to put in quotes, but like negative cards in there. Oracle cards a little bit more like
they're pretty happy,
sweet and chill. But in tarot, you're going to have cards that have to do with like betrayal, deceit, different things. And so it's important to be able to relay the message in a way of like, this message is coming through so that you can claim your power in this situation, and it's for your highest good to be aware and to, like take control and find like the lesson and find the healing and, make a shift on your journey, or accept this, or validate that you're going through this and you're strong and you're going to keep going. It's like, it's all about finding the empowering perspective.
Yes.
So it's a big, I mean, we also have had readings where it's just like, why would you say that to me? It's like,
so I always want to mention that because I've just had some funky run-ins with some psychics, and it sticks with you, So even if you feel something, just remind people, like I always remind people, that whatever I say to you, your own intuition is like wins above all else. You have the power to create your own destiny. Like you have free will like nobody's business. And like, this is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm picking up on. And let's, wrap it around in this perspective where we leave our customers, our clients, our friends, whoever we're reading, just feeling really empowered, because I just don't know what the point of a reading would be if it's just going to bum somebody out.
Right.
What's the point?
If you're reading for someone else, or if you're reading for yourself, the point is to receive a message, to gain clarity, and to empower yourself in the situation, to get clear on like, where do I have potential to take action? Where am I being nudged to pay attention to? Right? So it's like if I don't know, some sort of like betrayal card comes up and this person is in a relationship reading, and it's like they got this relationship reading because their intuition is telling them that something's off and something's wrong, and they want some sort of validation. So being able to wrap that up in a way, and I would never ever say, oh, this card means like somebody's betraying you or cheating on you. I would, in that situation, or if I was pulling for myself, which one what was happening to me, I was pulling a lot of those cards, but I would say, I would word it as like, if your intuition is telling you something is off, this is the card to say you need to trust yourself, you need to speak up, and you need to figure out what's going on. I would never say like, this means this.
I know, very different vibes from
right?
those two phrases.
Because also that card could be coming up because maybe you're in a relationship that's really healthy, and things are going well. But because of past things happening, you have anxiety about these things. So perhaps it would depend on all the other cards, right? It could be a reading where it's saying like, you're feeling like this is what's happening. But in reality, to me, it's I feel that like you need to trust the situation. You need to heal this part of yourself so you can enjoy the place you're in. There's so many, you know, so that's where it's like, yeah, it's important to be aware of, because people really take what you say and they it's meaningful. So if you're reading for somebody else, be very, very aware of how much power your words do have. Because like we do tons of readings. I was trying to think today and I was like, gosh, you know, I've probably done over 200 readings, maybe 300
at least.
And I've had someone reach out to me a year later and be like, you know, you said this thing to me and it changed my life. And like, I'm like, gosh, I don't remember saying that, but thank God, like we had an amazing mentor who really taught us about this.
Yeah,
and
the ethics.
I think it's very obvious to me when I go to somebody and get a reading who does not like walk the walk of doing the spiritual like work because of the way they speak and tell me something. So to also get your readings from someone who you feel is really like doing their own inner work and is like really like the things that they say they read about, like you see them showing up in that area of their life. Like if you're gonna go to a psychic or a tarot reader for relationship stuff, like listen to your intuition. If you're like, yeah, I feel like they're a hot mess in that area of life and I don't want them reading me for there. Like I've just felt like when I've left a read and been like, they have some shadow work to do. Like they projected on me. They projected on me. Yeah. So that's something really important too, to be able to, like if you're doing readings for yourself and you feel like the same like message is coming up over and over and over again and you're like, I don't like this message, I don't want this message. It's like, well, take a look in the mirror. What do you need to heal? What do you need to work on? What do you need to dig into?
I just pulled what triggers you. Examine how this may be a reflection of yourself.
There we go.
The cards are part of the conversation.
But cards are so fun and it's such a magical tool to get to know your intuition, right? Like you want to get to a place where you see and hear and feel and know your intuition without the cards, but it's a fantastic tool to practice. And something this is something that I have taught in Activate Your Magic in the past, and we will be teaching in this round in week 3. We do a whole week on intuition, which is the difference between like doing intuition and being intuitive. Right? So cards would be an example of doing intuition. However, they are a good practice tool to help you be intuitive. But you don't want to be only depending on cards or a pendulum and like that's your only access to intuition. You're in tune with your intuition constantly. It's not something you have to open and close and tap into and tap out of. Like your intuition is present with you, and cards are just such a fun way to get to know and practice and challenge yourself. And it's fun to, you know, read with friends or for friends. And it's really like, it's just a fun tool, a fun modality. And obviously we love it because we've created 2 whole decks.
I know. And they're the most beautiful decks in the world.
They are.
And we would love to ship them to you. Sadie packages them so beautifully. So beautifully. A Halloween trick or treat. Order a deck.
Or 2.
Oh my goodness. And then when the reading's over, you know, we turn off the music, we blow out the candle, and we say thank you so much. And we envision, you know, like our third eye maybe closing a little bit, just more of a, like, I'm done receiving messages for the moment. What'd you pull?
I pulled the Otter of Laughter. Oops. And Community.
We have so much fun in our community.
Genuine laughter heals and lifts our spirits. Prioritize humor and laugh abundantly. And community. Be open to receiving support. Create your visions with others. Work collaboratively. I love the community and the laughter card, not only for our amazing community of listeners, but also shout out to our amazing Patreon community that at this time is now at 101 members.
Yay! 101 Dalmatians!
and to the amazing journey we're about to go on with our little mini community of Activate Your Magic Babes. What a beautiful, it's really about being open to receive support, which is not an easy thing for everyone. I know it's not for me, and to choose to say, I'm ready for mentorship, I'm ready to be a part of this group. Big shout out, because we're so proud of you and so grateful we get to be on this journey with you.
Yay! And we're going to be having in our Patreon a party this month, a 100 besties party.
Yes.
So if you want to come to the party, make sure you sign up this week so you don't miss it.
And crazy, it's going to be a 100 members / 1 year Patreon anniversary party, because October is when we first started it last year. So that'll be for all Patreon members, and then for our Coven tier, we will be hosting our 2nd annual Halloween party, where we dress up in costumes. We have a little dance party.
We do a cool spooky spell. It's really fun.
It's gonna be so fun. So if you're thinking about it, this month is an especially fun time to join. There's lots going on, lots of juicy fun, and we can't wait to hang out with our Patreon community all month long.
I know. We really love you. We are so grateful for you. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and make sure you come back next week, because the costume party has only just begun.
It's only just begun. What will we dress up next week? Drop your guesses below. If you're on YouTube, comment. Maybe you'll give us some ideas. Just kidding. I know what I'm being.
No, mine are pre-purchased.
Anyways, we have lots of fun in the show notes, links to the decks, our Patreon,
the retreat. Come party with us, come do magic with us, come hang out with us, come be besties with us in person. Yes, it's fun. Not too good to be true. It's so good real. That you deserve it.
It's here. It's the season of the witch. Let's hang out.
Yay.
And we're just, oh my gosh, we're just so grateful. We're at 95 episodes. So crazy.
I know.
December will be 2 years of podcasts. I mean, I'm just feeling very grateful right now.
I know, me too.
I'm grateful that it's Halloween. I'm grateful for all of you. Let us know what you think of the ep. Follow us on social media at Goddess Hangs, at bizwitch.inc. That's TikTok and Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram at I am Sadie Olson.
I'm at Juliet.Piper.
Check out goddesshangs.com, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Woo.